I've been watching 1320 video for a hot minute now, and Kyle, great guy. Every year he uploads this video of him launching, well, not him himself, but he goes there, watches the cars launch off the cliff for 4th of July. I think his name is Arnie. He runs the launch. It costs like a couple $100. Honestly, best car event ever. Like, hands down, best car event. So I've been watching it. And I've, been traveling the US a fair bit, and I've done 48 states at this point, and I'm like, I've got to do the last two. I've got to do 49 and 50, which is Hawaii and Alaska. And I'm like, why would I go to Alaska? Like, obviously a beautiful country, all that sort of good stuff, but I'm just like, I want to make something of the trip. So obviously I see their videos, been watching them for a while. I'm like, all right, I know enough people now. I've done enough road trips. I've got a little bit of money in my pocket. Why not? I contacted my friend Douglas, best dude ever, and I trust him with my life. So I'm just like, all right, dude, let's buy this car, buy something, figure it out, and do a road trip. This kind of coincided with Outback in the Midwest that I did at Travis Bell's house like the year before or something like that, and we were riding around on his little golf cart, and we're looking at all the cars in the backyard of his, and he's got like this G8. That's a base model G8. A little worse for wear. No one's going to want to, own it for a significant amount of time. And he's like, we should launch that thing off a cliff. And I'm like, we should launch that thing off a cliff. So he's got his car sorted. And then I'm just like, all right, well, I want my own car to launch off the cliff. So yeah, talk to my friend Douglas. We've been scrolling Marketplace, and we're thinking, what should we use? What should we use to like drive all the way? But by the way, he lives in Laurel, Mississippi. So very far down the country. We also have to go via Indianapolis to meet up with everyone else that decided to do this trip, and then drive all the way to Alaska. So we're like, we need something reliable, kind of cool. I wanted it to be American only, parts everywhere, Panther body. Can't beat a Crown Vic. So unfortunately, Crown Vic's, thanks Cletus, has turned up a little bit in price. So we settled for a Grand Marquis. It was bought off of this pastor in Laurel, Mississippi, or wherever it was, somewhere close near New Orleans. It was a really clean car, and it was kind of sad. I got there, and I'm like, this is actually kind of a nice car. We got it for a steal, a few $1,000s, ran good history. He was daily driving it, and we're like, sweet, this is the one. Pulled the trigger on it. We landed, and we're like, all right, we need to paint this thing. It's not going to go up there, this poo brown color. We went ahead and bought these turbo cans. We do not have them in Australia. These are these big, high-pressure cans with a massive fan on it. You can paint a whole car with like 2 cans, and it's thick, and it looked really good anyway. So we got there, masked it up, and we're in like Mississippi, and it's like threatening weather and stuff. Like, oh, what do we do? So we managed to get the base coat done, a little bit of a quicksand, just taped it up, and it actually came out really good. And then it started raining. We're like, we haven't done the colors yet, because we decided, all right, well, there's 2 of us going on this trip. We're going to do 1/2 American flag, 1/2 Australian flag. So we got it all stenciled out, bought all the paint and whatnot, and then it's like started to rain. Like, oh God. So luckily Douglas is friends with his community at the church. It's got a big undercover area. They're like, they wouldn't mind if we just used their undercover bit for the night to paint. So I've masked up the car completely, like windows, everything was masked, and I've ripped like a hole in the windshield. And I'm just trying to drive from one side of town to the other, looking through this little hole. He's following me, and I'm like, dude, you got to tell me if there's a car coming. I can't see out of either of my windows. So we made it to this thing. We stenciled it out and masked it out with some tape, sprayed it. And honestly, the paint job of this thing was immaculate. It felt too bad to launch it off a cliff. But then, you got to stay in the spirit of it. And luckily we had a whole heap of people, amazing people. So Travis Bell and Christopher Michaels was in the G8 that I previously talked about. They got livery done. Like, they got the stickers done of Lightning McQueen. So that was awesome. And then you had Dan Dillon and Adam Valentine in the Dale van. Very nice new Honda Odyssey, I think, wagon. So yeah, he had the stickers on, making it look like the Intimidator. Then we had Jake and Olivia. They had a F-150 truck that was painted like a cow. Very funny. So we meet up with the rest of the guys on the way, and honestly, if you ever want to do any road trip in your life, it has to be this. Like, I thought, oh yeah, it'll be cool. You go through Canada, you see some stuff. We went up through the Dakotas. Yeah, so we all had our cars prepped and ready. In Indianapolis, I had how many miles we're going to do on the back window, all that sort of good stuff. We take off. All the cars run perfectly. We had like almost no mechanical issues, little things here and there and stuff. But the best thing about it is we know these cars are going to launch off a cliff. So we're rubbing and we're racing and we're hitting each other, and It's just the best time ever. So get through the country, and we're coming up through the Dakotas. The weather's starting to turn real bad on one of the days, and it's really bad. And it's starting, like, one side's clear blue skies, and this is like horrible black, and we're like, geez. And then as we start driving out of this storm, luckily we're going in the right direction, we see this car looking like an armadillo coming the other way, and we're like, the heck was that thing? It's like this storm chaser. He's a very, very big guy. He's got this, I don't know, probably a big F truck or Ram or something like that, fully armored up, and he was whizzing past us, and we're thinking, if he's out here, we are in not a good spot. So we just kept hightailing it out there. We finally made it to the US-Canada border, and we're thinking, oh, everything's legit, it should be fine. And it was. Canadians, right? We go through the border, and everything was cool. Yeah, I'm just like vibing this guy. I'm like, you're pretty cool. I'm like, can we get a photo? He's like, yeah, sure. We ended up getting my car signed by the border force. Oh, that was the thing, by the way. The whole time on our trip, when we started in Mississippi, everywhere we went, every restaurant, every person that we showed the car, everyone signed it. So the whole thing was covered in signatures by the end of it. It was a really cool gesture, and everyone like started following the story, and everyone's blown away that we're driving all the way to Alaska. People don't think you can even drive there, which honestly, like, they've got a point. The roads were treacherous at best. So we get through the border. Just on the other side of the border, there's a significant town of Regina. Yes, Regina. We thought it was Regina. We all said Regina the whole way. That's how it's spelt. Anyway, we got there. The locals called it that. We had a giggle. We were not far out of there, and unfortunately the F-150, I don't know, blows a wheel bearing, something, wheel falls off of it at 100 mile an hour, see you later. Put over it on the side of the road, we're like, all right, we'll take some valuables out of it and throw them in another car, we'll drive, we'll stay the night, come back, fix it tomorrow. So, unfortunately, we slept the night, came back, vandals attacked the cow F-150. Terrible for Jake and Olivia. We decided to just leave it there. I think they might have got it towed or something. Not exactly sure what happened to it. But anyway, they hopped into the Dow van. They had a blast of a time. Everyone's pumping music. It's a good vibe. And like, this is a really long trip. Thousands of kilometers. And the roads are getting worse and worse. Like, the longer we get out to like the remote areas of Canada, the cars have all made it so far. They're filthy, they're this and that. Got all these signatures on all the cars. We've hit each other and stuff like that. It's been an absolute blast. And then I enter the US quite often, and we enter the US again, and they're like, what are you doing here? And honestly, trying to explain, hey, we got 3 spray-painted cars coming through to launch them off a cliff. US Customs kind of don't really understand it, so we go, see you later, in we go. So that was a good sign. But anyway, we finally make it to our destination. We've seen some awesome sights along the way, way prettier than I thought it was going to be. A lot of landmarks, a lot of cool, significant places of interest, and we stopped for, honestly, that's what Travis will always tell you. The food was the absolute worst, dismal, all roadhouses, stuff like that. Towns powered by big diesel generators. We're talking in the boonies. We're in the middle of nowhere. So we rock up. We finally make it to just out of Anchorage, Alaska. We are, we're getting there midday through the day that everyone preps their cars. And as we arrive, oh my God, all the cars that were there, how far they've driven, their story, stuff like that. All the drivers are there where, you talk about what you did, how far you've come, the car that you've brought, why you've bought it. And all the paint jobs are awesome. And everyone's got these little ideas. Like, one car was full of like rubber ducks that were just going to go everywhere. Anyway, we got all the cars prepped. Of course, you have to chop the exhaust off. You got to smash all the glass out of it. It's a bit of fun, but honestly, it's kind of heartbreaking. You spend days in this car, hours and hours and hours of seat time. You really fall in love with it. It was hard to do it, but anyway, we busted the windows out, scribbled all over it, slashed up the interior, had fun. Stuff that you don't do to cars that you want to keep. So cars are prepped, go to sleep, come back the next day. The event is really well run. It's run by, I think, volunteers, maybe paid here and there, but like, the event is so well run and organized for a place that has zero phone reception or signal. It's amazing. And honestly, you go for like a bit of a walk around. The public don't get to do it, but if you're launching a car, you get to stand on the cliff face, and just it's spectacular. Absolute breathtaking like area. So even if you're not launching a car, go to the event, please. Go to the event, be there. Yeah, so we're standing on the cliff. We're like, all right, this is awesome. Cars are all prepped. They line them all up. They have a schedule. It's all ready to go. You kind of get your schedule. You know roughly when you're going to get launched. Some cars go phenomenally, launch real far. Ours, kind of like veered off the side of the ramp, but it was still very cool nonetheless. Everyone's car, especially Travis's, had an amazing launch. Just went, oh. And your sticker, VINwiki, right on the boot lid. Amazing. Couldn't get a better photo op if you tried. Honestly, so you get the car set up, you then go down the bottom, so you watch it from the bottom, and like you think you kind of know what you're in for. Like, yeah, you see it on 1320, you see everyone else is independent of the cars jumping off and just exploding, and you hear it through speakers and it's fine. Nothing, I swear, nothing compares to the noise of 2 or 3 ton of car just crunching into the ground. It gets you in your chest. Everyone's sitting on the bank drinking, having a good time, and when you're standing at the bottom and you're looking up, you're like, how was that not going to reach us? And honestly, it's starting to get close. We had cars land in the river, like right as the people were standing, and a wheel has made it into the crowd and did on our year. So it's getting there, but it is the most incredible sight to see. I'm sure people have seen other videos of it online. But if I could say to anyone to go out there, find your friends, find a group of people, load up a car, a cheap one off Marketplace, drive up there, or even buy one in Anchorage if you want to cheat. If that's what I like to say. If you want to cheat, buy one up in Anchorage, spray paint it, go there with your friends, launch a car off a cliff. Best 4th of July that you could ever have.
This month of VINwiki content is brought to you by Bridgestone, and the most exciting tire from Bridgestone right now is the brand new RE71RZ. That's their extreme max performance summer tire that is championing pole position. It's built for the grassroots motorsports crowd and offers much better on-track wear patterns than we saw out of the amazing RE71RS that it is now replacing. It uses Bridgestone's enlightened technology to deliver long-lasting performance and much more responsive control. And the RE71RZ is now available across North America in 45 sizes since December 31st of last year. This new tire meets all requirements for SCCA racing and will be eligible for competition use in 2026 for solo and time trials. This new tire is 0.74 seconds faster on a dry lap and 75/10 of a second faster in a wet lap compared to the outgoing RE71RS. This really is an amazing new sports car and supercar tire from Bridgestone, so check it out now, along with everything else that we love about Bridgestone at the link in the description below.